They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
Ask you about the day of the first big Air Raid in Wick, which was the 1st of July 1940, and that was when the buildings in Bank Row were destroyed and damaged. Now, were you? What's your memory of that day?
Well, I was in the middle of Ansadet Street, and I was with a friend, Margaret Gunn, and we were playing. I mean, we had a different childhood than they've got now. I mean, we were what they would call now too old to be doing that probably, but we were dressed up, and we had high heels belonging to somebody older, you know, and we were, on imagination, we were going off down the street, we were doing something, and when we heard this thump, and of course the siren went.
What time of day was this, Doris?
Well, it must have been in the morning.
Uh-huh.
I've just forgotten.
Yeah.
And but it was daylight, I mean, we were still out playing, so it must have been. And I stepped at my shoes anyhow because I was pretty small then too, and I couldn't run in this shoes. So I left them in the middle of the road, ran into Margaret's, that was the nearest house, and I would not leave the window the whole time until all clear went because I was keeping my eye on the shoes.
Alright.
It was shoes I shouldn't have had, you see, so we were dressed up and I thought I would have here too. So I had a guard of shoes, but that was all the way. That's quite funny when you think that we were older and still dressing up, you know. But when I went home it was a different kettle of fish because everybody was weeping and everybody was sad. And it's the first time I've seen my parents show any emotion of any kind. Yeah, I mean, what would you say, crying, you know. They were really upset because my father's sister had one child, lost it, died, you know, and then here was her girl who just got married, got killed in here, and my mother had a cousin who lived in a roundhouse, and two of hers got killed, so it was a sad day.
Yes, yes it was.
Very. And all I remember is sounded like, you know, wheelbarrows the boys used to play with. And sometimes they were good, they were breeze. And it sounded like that, but very, very loud. That's the sort of noise, you know, we couldn't understand what happened.
Did you come down the street later on and saw where the balls had fallen?
No, there was too much upset at home.
Uh-huh.
My father, he was hearing, he was at totally anyway because he was delivering papers, letters to paper shop, and he was just up there anyhow. So the first thing he wanted to do was come down here and check. My uncle Ack worked in what we called a brew. I don't know how it's proper name. I don't think so. And he came down and checked on him, but he had come out from under a rubble only to find his daughter was killed. So. And I mean, apart from them, there was all the other, it was just terrible. So,
yes.
I mean, we weren't allowed, you were seen and not heard in that day, so you were packed off like somebody else out of the way till it was all over.
So there must have been a kind of a sadness in the tune
yes,
after that.
Really, really sad. And the mess that was down here, you know, you weren't allowed to, well, we weren't allowed to go down past it anyhow. But everybody had their jobs anyway, you know, Erid Wardens, and my brother was a observer. He used to go out and stand on top of that tower that's at the Coast Guard station.
Oh yes.
Different planes in spot, and that was their job, you know. And Kath, my sister, she was in the town hall. They were getting trained for what, we didn't know, but she already had Morse code in there because of the guides. And that's what this cousin that got killed, she was a guide leader, and so she learnt them anyhow, you know. Whatever, we just followed suit, you know. Everybody went in brownies, guides, and scouts, and that is keys. And oh yes, it was a bad day. Terrible.
Then the next raid was on the 26th of October that same year, and that was when 3 planes
Oh, that
attacked
was
the
the one
Drome,
over the
and the bungalow, Cameron's
Yes.
bungalow, was
Mhm.
destroyed in Hill Avenue. Do you remember that day as
Yes,
well?
but it didn't have the same effect,
No.
because I mean, until now it seems like one big place. We were Pulteney, and it was
Yes.
wet.
Uh-huh.
The only thing was my brother was over in Willowbank, and my Uncle Willie's, my father's brother. So we had to find out. I mean, there's no phones then. If you're going to
No.
find out, you had to walk,
Uh-huh.
and somebody had to go and find out where they were crew. They were all right, and
Mhm.
it was just a mess, and we knew about the children and the adults. Everybody forgets, and all the adults,
Yes.
you know. But no, it was sad. But then you're young, and it doesn't take you long, you know, to move on to the next thing.
Uh-huh.
But for my cousin Isabel, yes, I missed her terrible.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there wasn't so very many, you know, it's only her
Yeah.
that was here.
Yeah.
And well, she was that much older than me, and she would give me things, you know, buy me things, and that was great. That was lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last thing she gave me was a tea set, and it's got Princess Elizabeth and Princess Margaret on it. And she gave me this for being good while I was getting fitted for my wedding outfit. Standing still long enough for getting me.
When you were the bridesmaid?
Yes.
Yes.
So she gave me this tea set, and it's still there. So
Right.
still,
Uh-huh.
still got. It was precious thing, you see. It was great.
Yes.
And I've sort of got lots of photographs of her. too.
Yes. Yeah.
And her father had to bring her up. Terrible for him, you know. That's all I had left. His wife was gone, and you know,
Yes.
his daughter was gone.
Yes, it must have been.
But it was just sheer chance that she'd gone to see her father, and then she thought she'd call in and say hello to her in-laws, her new in-laws.
Mhm.
She never went or worked in the shop or anything. She just, this was her just call.
Yeah.
And she went in and looked, and that was it.
Mhm. Yes.
So there's lots of photographs and things of her.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because we guides and do wedding pictures and groups and things.
Yeah.
She was always in. You know.
Right. Yeah. Now you were working for the council when the war started. Would that
Yes,
be
that's
to
right,
say that?
1939.
1939.
Mhm.
Do you remember the day the war started, or was anything
No,
special about it?
No, I don't think so, but we used to, in the electricity department, we had a direct line through to the power station at the harbour, and we used to get air raid warnings by telephone.
Yes.
Amber, green, or was it green, amber, and then red for a red warning. And I
Yes.
remember the day the bombs fell in Bank
Uh-huh.
Row, because it was a red warning,
Yes.
and we had to notify the power station then. And I remember my boss phoning and saying that there'd been bombs dropped in Bank Row, you better go home.
All right. Were you in the council offices when the raid happened?
Yes, yes. I
Because it was during the day, wasn't
yes,
it? At night,
yes, that's
wasn't it?
right. Mhm.
Uh-huh. Now I've got the date of the first air raid was the 1st of July 1940.
That's
Yes.
right.
Was the idea of the contact with the power station, was the power station supposed to shut down? and keep-
No, I think it just warned them, but you see, I think that's what they were aiming for,
Yes.
to put the power station out
Right.
of action so that it would affect the airport.
Yes. Yes.
No, they would never close down.
Uh-huh. So who were you when the raid actually took place?
In the town hall, in the office.
Uh-huh. And did you hear anything, or?
No, I can't say I did. No.
Uh-huh.
It was just when my boss phoned to say from the power station over, you better go home, and that was it.
Yes. Yes. You didn't hear explosions of the
No,
bombs falling, or the
no.
planes going over?
No,
Uh-huh.
no.
So, and did you go home?
Yes. Oh, I was scared.
Was it the idea is that home was safer, or?
Well, I don't know. I was only, what, about 1940,
Mhm.
18,
Yes. Uh-huh.
you know, and I just thought I would just do as I'm told, and I think most of the people closed up and went home, as far as I remember.
Uh-huh. What was the atmosphere in the town at the time?
Oh, it was just horror. Everybody,
Yes.
and nobody expected it, really.
Yes.
You know, and
Uh-huh.
so early in the war as well.
Uh-huh. But did people take it quite sensibly, or calmly?
Oh yes, I think so. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Once or twice, people used to say that the German bombers used to strafe them as they were walking down Huddart Street, even at odd times when
Yes.
they were flying low in. But
Yes.
I didn't experience that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So that first raid was in fact the one that caused the most damage.
Oh yes.
It killed 15
Hmm.
people,
Hmm.
injured 22 others, according to the information I've got, and,
Yes.
and destroyed buildings quite close to where we're sitting just now.
Hmm.
Did you go and see where the bombs had fallen
No.
after?
No.
Birds?
No.
You didn't
No.
feel curious?
No. It didn't bother me that way. I don't remember doing it anyway.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Right. And were you in the council offices when the second raid happened? Which
I don't
would have
remember
been-
that one.
It was the 26th of October, according to...
Same year.
Yes. And in fact, they were aiming for the drone at that.
Oh, was that the one at Hill Avenue?
Yes.
Ah,
That
yes.
killed the 3 people, and
Yes,
and,
the Camerons.
and the Cameron bungalow was
Mhm.
destroyed in Hill
Mhm.
Avenue.
Mhm.
So it's interesting how you could be sitting in the townhouse and this could be happening maybe a mile away,
Uh-huh.
and you wouldn't
And
even,
we didn't
you wouldn't
even know.
be aware of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Aye.
That's true.
Yeah. So the town would be a lot busier then,
Oh,
because
yes.
there were RAF and
Mhm.
Army and
Mhm.
Navy and all these different
Yes.
people here.
Yes.
And did you had a blackout, of course.
Oh yes.
So what was that like?
Well, it was. We just got used to it, you know. I don't know how we did it, because when the lights go off now and you're outside, you just don't know where you are or anything. But we did, and you weren't allowed to shine torches because they could see it.
Yeah.
We just moved about in the dark, and it's amazing how we coped, but we did.
Uh-huh.
And you weren't allowed. Of course, you had to have blackouts on your windows and everything.
Yes.
Hmm.
And the car headlamps
Yes.
had special
didn't-
things
Oh, yes,
on them,
that's
didn't
right.
they?
Just a wee bit showing.
Although there wouldn't, I mean, was there busy road traffic in Wick?
Well, I think so. Yes, there was a lot of forces. You see a lot of
All right.
movement.
Yes.
Mhm.
Did many people have private cars? Were there many
No,
private cars?
no, you were well off if you had a private car
Yes.
during the
Some
war.
doctors had them, that kind
Yes,
of thing.
that's right.
Yes. I'll stop you there and I'll switch to Duncan now, because you were born in Ray, am I right? in
Yes,
thinking
I
that?
was born in Ray.
So your childhood would be quite different from Elsie's one. It would be in a village in the countryside sort of thing. Was it?
That's right. Yes, we were born in Ray, and my father was in the police. He was like Bobby in Ray.
Oh, aye.
You're talking about 1924.
Uh-huh.
And in 1929, when I was 5 years old, my father was moved to Halkirk. So I went to school in Halkirk,
Yes, aye.
and I was there until 1936, which was 7 years.
Yes.
So the first 7 years in the school in Halkirk. My father was made up to sergeant and posted to Wick in 1936, and we stayed on the edge of the airfield,
Oh, aye.
at Henrietta Street.
Yes.
And when the war came on, then of course, and we went to high school, and then the war came on, and in '39. So I left the school in 1940,
Right.
and I was 14 and a half then.
Right.
And there was a mate of mine from the same street, and both of us got a job in the NAFI, which is the Navy and Army and Air Force Institute,
Mm-hmm.
which ran the canteens and stores.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a job in the store, storeman,
Mm-hmm.
store boys, whichever.
Yes.
And we were there until 1940, late on in 1940, near the end of 1940. And my father was made up to inspector and came up here to Thurso.
Right. I'm going back to the NAFI now. This was in Wick, was it? The NAFI?
It was in there on the airport.
It was
On the airfield.
on the
It
airfield.
was just right behind the hangar.
Uh-huh.
And with RAF, and you had the army guards around the place with bayonets and rifles and bayonets and so on and so forth.
So you must have felt quite pleased with that sort of job.
We were.
Yes.
We were highly delighted. They had
Yeah.
brain gun carriers going about and things like that. You know, it was
Yeah.
activity, well, all 24 hours.
Yes.
And you had different planes coming out, and we got to know, we made a study of the aircraft, all the different varieties,
Mm-hmm.
and we could even tell what type of aircraft it was without looking up.
Really?
By their engine noise.
Sound of the engine,
You see?
yes.
Yes. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you could even know the difference between the different planes that made a different noise.
Uh-huh.
And then when they, at one time, there was a raid on Orkney, and it was in the late summer of 1940, and we could see the anti-aircraft shells bursting in the sky, and of course all the hurricanes and everything in Wick at that time were on the go, and you had
Yeah.
Skitton Aerodrome and Castleton.
Yes.
And there's one evening, early evening, when we heard this noise, and we were watching the shells exploding in the sky. And fair thrilled to bits, of course, sitting up on the garden dyke.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden we heard this noise of aircraft engines right above our head. And we were confused actually, but when we looked up, here was this Heinkel bomber and two Hurricanes on his tail, one on each side, port and starboard. They had been in contact, obviously, over the Firth, Pentland Firth, and they had shot him, and he was forced to land. So he landed, his wheels were up, he just landed a belly flop on the grass beside the hangar
Mm-hmm.
at the airfield.
I have a photograph of that plane.
Have you?
Yes.
Aye. Ah, well, we, the next morning, of course, we went to our work in the morning at the NAFI stores,
Mm-hmm.
and the rumours were going about and stories were going about what happened, and it turned out that the two of the crew had been killed, and the other two, the pilot and the navigator, decided that, well, they were not going to get back to Germany, so they would better land rather than land in the sea.
And
Because
they
they
became prisoners of war, of course.
Yes, So next morning, we after our lunch break, we went out and about, and we peeked round the side of the hangar to see this big bomber with black crosses on it. And we noticed, the first thing we noticed, of course, we were looking for bullet holes, and it was just full of bullet holes.
Yes.
And particularly the rear of the aircraft, where the rear gunner had been killed. But there was, the two that survived were taken under guard down to the police station in Wick and locked in the cells there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were interrogated later on by the intelligence officers.
Yeah. Yeah.
My father told me this after he came home off
Yeah.
duty.
Yes.
the-
Yes. That was quite an interesting event. Can I ask you one question? How much were you paid working in the NAFI? Can you remember?
7 and 6
7 and 6
a week.
a week.